Your car throws a warning light and the mechanic wants $200 just to plug in a scanner. Before you hand over your wallet, understand this. Most dashboard warnings aren't broken parts. They're confused computers storing old data from temporary glitches. Professional technicians use a simple 15-minute reset procedure daily that clears these errors completely free, yet rarely mention it exists because diagnostics and resets generate billions in service revenue annually. Modern vehicles contain over 100 electronic modules that occasionally misread sensors, store false codes, or lose calibration after routine services. The result? Check engine lights, transmission problems, and electrical issues that appear serious but often need nothing more than a system reboot you can perform in your driveway. In this breakdown, you'll discover the exact reset method mechanics rely on, learn which problems it solves, and which require real repairs. Why cars throw so many warning lights? Modern vehicles operate as networks of interconnected computers, constantly monitoring hundreds of parameters. Every sensor feeds data to control modules that adjust fuel delivery, shift timing, brake pressure, and dozens of other functions in real time. This complexity delivers better performance and efficiency, but creates vulnerability to electronic confusion. Sensors register temporary anomalies constantly. A momentary voltage drop during cold cranking, brief fuel pressure fluctuation during hard acceleration, or split-second communication delay between modules triggers the system to store faulty codes. Once stored, these codes illuminate warning lights that persist long after the actual condition resolves. The sensitivity serves a purpose in emissions monitoring and safety systems, but creates frustration for owners. A loose gas cap detected once generates a check engine light that stays illuminated for weeks. A wheel speed sensor reading slightly out of range for 2 seconds during a pothole impact keeps the ABS warning glowing indefinitely. Temperature extremes amplify electronic sensitivity dramatically. Winter cold slows chemical reactions in batteries and sensors, causing voltage irregularities that the system interprets as faults. Summer heat accelerates resistance in electrical connections, creating intermittent signals that confuse control modules designed for constant data flow. Professional technicians understand this distinction between stored historical faults and active system failures. The average vehicle owner sees only warning lights and assumes expensive repairs await. This knowledge gap represents the automotive service industry's most profitable misunderstanding. The reset trick explained. The battery disconnect reset forces every electronic control module in your vehicle to clear temporary memory and return to factory baseline parameters. This process eliminates stored fault codes, erases corrupted adaptive learning data, and allows systems to recalibrate from a clean starting point. Think of your vehicle's electronic network like a computer that's been running for months without a restart. Programs accumulate temporary files, memory gets cluttered with outdated information, and processing slows as the system tries to reference data that no longer applies. A reset provides the fresh start that restores normal operation. The procedure works by interrupting power flow to all control modules simultaneously. Disconnecting the battery's negative terminal cuts the ground path required for electrical circuits to function. Most modules contain small capacitors that hold residual charge briefly, which explains why the 10 to 15 minute waiting period proves critical for complete discharge. Some vehicles require additional steps beyond simple disconnection. Pressing the brake pedal repeatedly after battery removal helps drain remaining power from capacitors faster. Turning the ignition key to the on position without starting also depletes stored energy in certain systems. Reconnection follows a specific sequence to prevent voltage spikes that could damage sensitive electronics. Always connect the positive terminal first, then the negative. This order ensures proper grounding as circuits re-energize and prevents dangerous sparking near battery terminals. What problems it can stop? Check engine lights caused by temporary sensor errors represent the most common issue this reset eliminates. Oxygen sensors occasionally report lean or rich conditions that exist for seconds during unusual driving situations. Mass airflow sensors detect debris particles that pass through quickly. Evaporative emission monitors flag vapor pressure variations during extreme temperature changes. These momentary events store codes that illuminate warning lights indefinitely until manually cleared. Dashboard warning lights that persist after completed service respond well to restart procedures. Technicians performing oil changes, tire rotations, or brake service occasionally trigger sensors or disconnect electrical components. The tire pressure monitoring system stores warnings when wheels get removed. Service reminder systems maintain alerts past reset points. Battery disconnection during repairs causes dozens of modules to set fault codes that have nothing to do with actual failures. Electrical glitches throughout the vehicle often trace back to corrupted control module memory rather than component failures. power windows lose their auto-up calibration after battery service. Radio presets disappear and infotainment systems freeze. Climate control actuators forget their position references and blow hot air from one vent and cold from another. Seat memory positions reset and mirror adjustments default to strange angles. Throttle response issues often stem from confused calibration rather than mechanical problems. Electronic throttle systems store idle speed targets, pedal position references, and airflow compensation value. When these drift from specific or reflect conditions after cleaning or maintenance, acceleration becomes resistant and idle becomes unstable. The reset stores factory parameters and allows proper relearning. Step by step, how to do it. Safety preparation proves critical before beginning any electrical work. Park the vehicle on level ground in a well-ventilated area away from traffic. Set the parking brake firmly and place the transmission in park for automatics or neutral for manual transmissions. Turn off the engine and remove the key completely, or press the start button twice to ensure full shutdown in push-button vehicles. Open the hood and locate the battery, typically positioned in the engine compartment near the front corner. Some vehicles hide batteries in trunk compartments or under rear seats, requiring interior panel removal. Identify the negative terminal marked with a minus symbol and usually covered by a black cable and cover. Gather necessary tools before starting. A 10mm wrench or socket fits most battery terminal bolts. Some require 8mm or 13mm sizes. Keep a clean rag handy for wiping corrosion and protective gloves to prevent battery acid contact with skin. Have your vehicle's radio security code available if equipped, as the reset will require re-entry. Loosen the negative terminal bolt counterclockwise until the cable clamp separates from the battery post. Pull the cable away from the terminal and secure it so it cannot accidentally contact the post or any metal during the waiting period. Never allow the negative cable to touch any grounded metal surface while disconnected. Wait the full 15 minutes minimum for complete system discharge. This duration ensures all capacitors in control modules fully drain and temporary memory clears completely. Some technicians recommend 20 to 30 minutes for vehicles with particularly complex electrical systems or persistent issues. Reconnect the battery in reverse order of removal. Place the positive cable on its terminal first and tighten securely. Then connect the negative cable last. Tighten both terminals firmly, but avoid over-tightening, which can crack the battery post or strip the terminal bolt threads. Standard torque specifications range from 10 to 15 foot-pounds. Start the engine and allow it to idle undisturbed for 5 minutes minimum. During this period, control modules initialize, sensors calibrate to current conditions, and the vehicle's computers begin building new adaptive data. Do not touch the accelerator pedal or operate accessories during this initial idle period. Alternative reset methods, including pulling specific fuses for individual systems rather than disconnecting the entire battery. Locate the engine control module fuse, often labeled ECM, PCM, or EFI, in the underhood fuse box. Remove this fuse for 10 minutes to reset only engine-related systems while preserving radio presets and other memory. This targeted approach works well when problems involve only engine performance or transmission behavior. When not to use it. Serious mechanical problems require professional diagnosis, not electronic resets. Metal-on-metal grinding noises from brakes, transmission, or engine internals indicate component failure that no reset will address. Fluid leaks, dripping under the vehicle signal, seal failures, gasket deterioration, or cracked components need replacement. Smoke from the exhaust in unusual colors, blue indicating oil burn, white suggesting coolant consumption, points to internal engine damage requiring mechanical repair. Safety system warnings should never be casually reset without understanding the underlying cause. Airbag lights indicate potential failures in life-critical systems. Anti-lock brake warnings mean emergency braking compatibility is compromised. Stability control alerts signal systems that prevent loss of control may not function. These require proper diagnosis to ensure safety systems operate correctly when needed. Persistent warning lights that return immediately after resets reveal active faults requiring attention. If you clear codes and the same light illuminates within minutes of the first drive cycle, an actual problem exists that needs professional diagnosis. Repeated resetting without addressing the root cause wastes time and potentially allows minor issues to escalate into expensive failures. Emissions-related codes deserve special consideration before resetting. Clearing check engine lights before emissions testing may seem convenient, but often causes test failures. Modern OBD2 systems require completion of specific drive cycles after resets before monitors set to ready status. Testing with incomplete monitors results in automatic rejection in many jurisdictions. Here's a bonus tip. After completing any reset procedure, your vehicle requires a relearning period before returning to optimal performance. This adaptation phase typically spans 50 to 200 miles of varied driving conditions, during which control modules gather fresh data and establish new baseline parameters. Take the vehicle for a comprehensive test drive covering multiple scenarios. Start with gentle acceleration and steady cruising to allow the engine computer to establish basic fuel trim values. Progress to highway speeds for extended periods, enabling the transmission to learn shift points under light loads. Include some stop-and-go traffic to teach the idle control system proper air management at various temperatures. Avoid aggressive driving during the first 50 miles after reset. Expect slightly rough idle and minor hesitation during the initial relearning phase. These temporary symptoms occur as control modules fine-tune parameters based on current sensor inputs rather than stored memory. Monitor transmission behavior carefully if you reset transmission adaptive memory. Initial shifts may feel firmer or softer than usual as the control module establishes new pressure and timing parameters. Drive gently for 20 to 30 minutes to allow proper adaptation, and avoid heavy towing or trailer pulling during this learning period. Which electronic gremlins have you conquered with simple reset procedures? And which warning lights sent you to the shop only to disappear mysteriously during diagnosis? Share your reset experiences in the comments below and subscribe for more automotive insights.